If you work in interior design and architecture, you have a version of this problem. The floor plan is finished, the elevations are done, the mood board looks great, but the data of the furniture or materials is not documented or might not even exist yet. So what would usually happen is you open a spreadsheet, you start typing in product names, quantities, costs, lead times, you tab between browser windows to find links, you screenshot images and paste them in manually, and then 2 weeks later the client changes the floor finish or the armchair. You then have to update the drawing, you have to then go back to the spreadsheet and do it all again. And the problem isn't the schedule or data itself, it's that the schedule lives elsewhere, separate from the drawing and the mood board, the place where the decisions actually come from. There's a disconnect. So in this video, I'm going to start with a drawing set and a mood board with no data attached to anything yet. But then I'll show you how to attach product data directly to a mood board and floor plan blocks. And as a bonus, I will also show you how you can share that schedule as part of a presentation that is live and can update with your drawings. So let me show you how you build it. And if you want to follow along, there's a link in the description to create a free Rayon account. The template for this video is in there too. So this is the starting point. A complete drawing set, floor plan, elevations, and a section alongside a mood board with materials, finishes, and furniture references. The design work here is done, it's just now about adding that data. And to give you a glimpse, this is where we're going to end up at the end of the video. So this is our starting point, a full drawing set. We've got some elevations and floor plans here of this kind of bedroom layout. We've also got a kind of small mood board alongside this that just shows some of the material palettes and color palettes that we're going to be using for this drawing. Now, the way that this works is that if you select a particular block, in this case, let's select this double bed. When you head to the right-hand side here, you've got this option of custom properties. So you can toggle this up and down. So as an example with this block, you can see on the right-hand side here that there is a brand and category property already there, ready to be assigned. Likewise with this chair in the corner here, this wicker dining chair, it already has some kind of classification and categories assigned to it. And so there's already some kind of data attached to some of these blocks, but we're gonna add much more into this, and we're gonna also customize this as this is fairly generic at this point. And you could do exactly the same with a mood board. And I think this is actually really nice as kind of early design stages in a project. If you have particular floor finishes or color palettes that you've identified that you like and you want to implement into the drawings and into the project, if you could then assign that maybe manufacturer or supplier or finish, it no longer becomes something that is static, it becomes something that is much more valuable. And you can do that by selecting any item from your mood board, head to the right-hand side, click these 4 dots, and you'll get this kind of full list of properties that you can add. So now I'm going to show you the whole process of applying this data to this chair, for example. So I've found a product online, and I'm now going to bring all of that data and apply it to this chair. So we have this Rayon Company Maya dining chair, which is actually a really nice chair with this kind of wicker finish, this woven finish. So once again, if we select the block, head to the right-hand side, we're going to add Rayon as our brand. We're going to apply the dining chair category and then also change the class to wicker. Now what you'll notice is that this goes blue. So this is basically overriding some of the kind of data that's already applied to this particular block. And so we can scroll down and we can find maybe, let's first choose the price. So we can then copy across the price point, which is £229.99. So we can copy that in. We can then maybe copy across some of the size of the product, so 76 by 63. We can apply maybe materials, so we then have ash wood material, product name, so we can apply the Maya dining chair, and we can apply all of this data now to the chair. And you can also create and apply your own properties to this. So if you had something that's a little bit more unique or bespoke to that particular product, you could also create that as a property. Let me show you an example of maybe a link that you could apply. So for example, if you create a new property, we head to link, you can also apply image, area, different types of information. So if we apply a link and we call it product link, we then paste in the URL from that product, so that website that we found that product, you can then have that link living with the drawing. If you select then this little kind of link icon in the bottom right corner here, it will then take you straight to that product. Now this is a really nice touch because then the drawing becomes live. You can then choose a certain product that you have in your drawing. You can link it to a particular website, and then you can share it with clients or suppliers as you wish. If you share this model with someone, they can also click that product and find that link. And we can do the same across the board. We can apply maybe an IKEA brand to this bed. We can identify that it's a queen bed. We can add maybe the color and size. So we can add its queen size and show the dimensions and add all the dimension information. Likewise with the price, and maybe add any other data such as status. This is a really nice one that you can add to track whether something's been ordered or to be ordered, or if it's being delivered. And it's worth showing that the same data step applies to mood boards. And so we might add that we have a price per square meter, which is 100 euros. You can add maybe potential suppliers, so there's Woodland brand, and you can add as much data as you wish to these mood boards and drawings. Any image in the mood board, any material swatch, any furniture reference can carry custom properties in the same way that a block can in a floor plan. With the data attached to the chair, let's see what it looks like extracted into a table. And so if you head to the left-hand side here and go to tables, you'll notice that there are some table options that you can choose from. So there's room schedules, FF&E schedules, etc. What we're going to choose is, of course, the FF&E schedule. And so this is really nice because it will kind of automatically create a default table that identifies that we want to schedule out the block instances. And you can see here that it's already identified a few columns, such as the name, the product, but we want to customize, of course, this further. Now, the first thing we're going to do is going to create a new column. So here you can choose all your different properties that you now have available or assigned to your products. And so in this case, we're going to choose material, and you can see that now we have that ashwood material. We can do the same with maybe product link. So you can now have a product link in your table. The tables are really easy and intuitive to use. So you can just drag and pull certain elements. You can delete certain elements that you might not want to show in tables. It's all quite easy and straightforward to operate. And I think a really great way to start kind of categorizing certain elements that you have. For example, you can start grouping by brand, for example. So we now know how many products we're ordering from Rayon, or how many products we're ordering from IKEA, or whatever it might be. You can then add a status line in there, so you can then start identifying if anything's been ordered or hasn't been ordered. You can also filter this data. With more items in the table, filtering becomes quite useful. And so I think really the key about filtering is just making sure that you show the information that you want to show. I know it sounds kind of obvious, but you want to then make sure, for example, if we want to show particular products that have a status, that have been delivered or have been ordered or is to be ordered, you can filter them by not being empty. And then you can see here that all of the products that have some kind of status assigned to it is going to be displayed now on the table. And you can reorder them, reshuffle them. And if you do have any information that you then want to add in the table rather than the drawing or mood board, you can also then add that in the table as well. So you can kind of start customizing the table itself. And so by just cleaning it up a little bit, I've kind of reordered some of this table slightly. You can see here now that I have two options. We have equipment and furniture, and then we have material specifications. So material specifications are particularly useful if you have a particular type of tile or wood finish, and you want to identify the brand, the lead time for that particular product, the product name, and then of course the price. And of course, live tables is particularly valuable if your drawing is constantly updating. There will of course be times where the client is going to change or adjust or change their mind about a particular product or floor finish, whatever it might be. And you want to make sure that your drawing is staying up to date and the information that's being displayed is correct and accurate. And so what's really great and easy about this is if you select a particular item and we change the price per square meter, maybe it's increased by 20% to 120 euros. You can see here now that all of a sudden it'll update in the table. And maybe you have the same with lead times, which will always update and change throughout a project's life cycle. And this is how a schedule should grow, not built separately after the design is finished, but assembled as a byproduct of the decisions you're already making. So the next step is then to bring the table into the canvas and to have it actually alongside the drawing. So this is really straightforward in that you head to the table, you select whichever table you want, you then click insert. Before you then drop the table into the canvas, you want to then adjust maybe the text size or the font or whatever it might be. You then click your 2 points and basically drag and drop it in. Now you can quite easily refer to your table as you update your drawing. And this is quite a nice, easy way to work throughout your projects, that it all exists in this canvas. You can update your unit cost to 250. Now, when you go to your table in your canvas, if you select the table and look to the right-hand side where it says source, there's a little kind of blue circle or reload icon that if you click that, it will then update the table to that new information, which you can see here. Now, let's pull this together properly into a presentation. I'm starting a new presentation page using the paper canvas. So we're going to create a new page. We can then change that to A3. You can change the orientation. You can customize this as you wish. You can then go to your tables again, click insert. You can then do exactly the same process of kind of clicking your 2 points, pulling it into place. You can then create a view into your drawings, which you can then pull alongside your template, alongside maybe your mood board as well. And now all of a sudden you've got a presentation to scale on an A3 piece of paper. And of course you can customize this presentation as you wish. You can add title blocks, which Rayon has many to choose from in their block library. If you search for title blocks, you can pull and drop any into place and you can customize these as you please. You can also pull in some of your own custom title blocks. You can create your own title blocks and kind of save them in your own libraries. But this is a particular title block that I quite like to use. It's simple, it's clean, it's neat. And so really, I'm just going to start pulling a presentation together with our tables, drawings, images. And you can also start customizing this template further by clicking into it. You can then start changing some of the text size. You can then click and maybe change some of the font colors. I'm now going to maybe customize some of the items to be ordered or have been ordered. You can manage this all on the style panel on the right hand side by adjusting the fill and the fill opacity. And we can improve the presentation of the tables by also maybe bringing some images in that will go alongside the presentation. You can then head to the right hand side here and we can maybe remove the background. So in our kind of image tools, we have upscale, remove background. You can generate blocks. You can also stylize some of the image to maybe clay or freehand or different styles that you want to show. And you'll see here that this works really nicely when you scale it down and position it alongside your table. Now you can also actually embed images into your table, going through the very similar process that I showed earlier of creating your own property, adding your own property as an image. You can also do that and apply that to the table. But in this case, I'm just going to show you some kind of presentation formats that you might want to deliver. And once again, if you want to make any changes to your drawings again, in a very similar way that now your table is located on your paper canvas, if you go back to your drawing and you update any of the data, you will then just have to go back into your table. You will then just have to click this like reload button, which will sync the inserted tables. And then you'll see here now that in your paper canvas, that table. And then you can spend some time building a full presentation with your equipment and fixtures, with your material specifications, alongside your tables, your drawings, your images. And all of a sudden now you're building a full presentation suite that not only exists and demonstrates the kind of data assigned to the drawings, but also it exists live with the drawings. So if at any point, as I've discussed, if anything updates or needs to be amended, you can update it live with the presentation. And this is really important to make sure that your data is not getting confused or it doesn't become incorrect or out of date. At all times through this process, your drawings will become live and relevant and accurate. And of course, the final step, if you wanted to then share that as a presentation, you can then head to your Pages tab on the left-hand side here. You can reorder these as you wish. You can export them as individual pages, or you can export the full presentation suite. You can of course customize it as a PNG or the different quality or the page range as you wish. You can then export this as a PDF, or alternatively, and a really nice feature of Rayon is that if you head to the top right corner and you click share and you go to presentation, you have this little toggle that you can click to make basically a live presentation. Now, if you click open or share this kind of link with a client or a supplier, they can then view it in this way. They can then click through the pages, they can zoom in, zoom out, etc. Now, the beauty of this is that at any point, as we've discussed, if any of the data updates in your drawing or in your tables, it can also update in the presentation. So if someone has access to that live presentation link, in a very similar process here, if you actually go back into your project, you change any item, maybe this unit cost has gone up again, this bed's getting expensive, go back into your paper canvas, you select that table, you then sync it, you then go back up to the top right hand corner, click share, you can then reload your presentation that you've shared, and the person who has that link to that live presentation, if they just refresh their browser, all of a sudden they will now have an updated presentation with that unit cost updated or whatever property updated. So it's pretty powerful and really useful tool. The reason FF&E schedules are often so inaccurate isn't that designers aren't careful. It's that the schedule lives in a different place to the drawing and mood board, and those are the places where the decisions come from. Every time one changes, someone has to manually update the rest. What changes here is that the data never leaves the design. The material on the mood board is the material in the table. This is what a frictionless FF&E workflow looks like. Not a faster spreadsheet, but no spreadsheet at all. The floor plan, the mood board, the schedule were never separate documents. They were always the same project, then finally presented that way. If you want to try this in your own project, there is a link in the description to create a free Rayon account. The FF&E template from this video is also there too. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.